Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mandy and today we're going to talk about the things that nobody told me going into my first year of homeschooling. If it is your very first time here, whether you are a new homeschool parent or you are a veteran homeschool parent like myself, I want to welcome you to my channel and invite you to hit the like and the subscribe button because it really does help me and my channel out. So let's talk about the biggest one, and I feel like most people struggle with this, especially in the first year or so. And that is, your homeschool day is typically only going to take about half the amount of time that a public school day would. Now, a public school day is typically 6 to 8 hours depending on your school district and your state, but homeschooling doesn't take nearly that long. You're cutting out all the extras, and that means you're not lining up 30 kids and you're not spending an hour on every single subject because you have 30 kids to manage. You are not taking time out to do classroom management or taking them to recess or lunch or PE and fire drills, and all of that stuff adds up to a full day at public school where you're not going to have that kind of stuff. You are concentrating on one child for the one subject or however many children you have versus 30. So understand that there is a lot that goes into a public school day that does not go into a homeschool day. So yes, you can homeschool in a very short amount of time, and typically we are done before lunch. And a lot of that time is independent work where I'm not even really doing a whole lot other than making sure they have the correct materials and making sure that they have the right assignment. And a lot of that is independent work, especially as the kids get older. Now, when this happens that first year and you realize how short your day is, you're going to start wondering, am I doing enough? Are they learning enough? Am I screwing them up? We all wonder that at some point. But I'm here to tell you that as long as you have a good, solid curriculum and you're doing everything in the curriculum and your kids are making good grades and they're understanding, they're learning, they're thriving, and of course that they're happy, you're doing just fine and you're doing everything that you need to do. That's just the beauty of homeschool. Take it and run with it. We don't have to spend all day at a desk. That is the fantastic thing about homeschooling, and it's one of my favorite things too. And that's why homeschooling is doable for so many parents, and they don't realize it because they think in their minds that they have to spend 8 hours in a homeschool room with their kids teaching them one-on-one, where I'm going to tell you that has never happened for me or a lot of other parents. So the next thing we're going to go over is you don't need a homeschool room. When I first started looking into homeschooling, and this was, years ago, when I first started looking into homeschooling, all I saw was all the pretty homeschool rooms, and the home that we lived in was not nearly big enough for anything like that, and all we had was the kitchen table. So I tried my best to turn my kitchen little dining area into a homeschool room because I felt like I had to have that, when really all I did was spend a lot of money and I made my kitchen look like a public school classroom. You don't need to do that. It's not necessary, and a lot of times you're just going to spend money on, uselessly on something that you don't really need and your kids don't really need. And it's hard because when you follow these accounts on Pinterest and on Instagram, you're going to see them and it's so hard not to want them. I think that's natural. Now, we have a homeschool room now, but this is not the same house that we lived in before. The homeschool room has helped, especially as the kids got older and we just naturally gathered more materials, but it is really not necessary. And for the most part of our homeschool journey, we actually used the kitchen table, and that was just fine. Our kids still learned at the table. They still did their messy art projects, there, or sometimes we took it outside. Get creative with your space, with the space that you have, and really understand this too. As your kids get older, they're going to want to do homeschool on the couch or in their bed or in their room. You don't need like a full classroom type setting to do that. So you are free to homeschool however you want. Enjoy it. So the next thing I want to talk about is the way that people would react when they found out that we homeschool. Not that they react badly, but the fact that they react defensively when I would explain that we homeschool, and that's the reason why they're seeing my kids with me at the grocery store. Or, when they meet my kids and say, oh, what school do you go to? And they go, oh, we're homeschooled. They almost act defensive when they found out that I homeschooled. And by that, I mean, they would say, oh, well, that's great for you, but this is why we don't homeschool A, B, and C. And it was just, I found that a little bit odd, almost like they felt like I was judging them because I homeschooled and they didn't, where not at all. I mean, I know that some parents, they either just don't want to homeschool, it's not their thing, or maybe their family situation doesn't allow for it. There's all kinds of reasons why people would still put their kids in public school, and I'm well aware of that. I do think that my kids have thrived in homeschool, and I would never put them back in public school. Then that's just me. But I know some parents, they just really like their public schools. So, you know, whatever fits your family best is the best thing for you. However, it was always very surprising to me that people got defensive when I said I homeschooled, when, you know, I never said a bad word about public school. So tell me, what has been the strangest reaction you have gotten when you've told somebody that you're homeschooling or you're thinking about homeschooling? And I know that the range of these answers are going to be anything from, you know, negative to positive, but I've heard some stories, and I would love to hear what has actually happened to you when you've told people that you're going to homeschool. So the last thing I want to wrap up with is the best thing, is the very best thing, and that is being there for all those moments when my kids grow, learn, change, and we see the learning happening, and I get to see and be there and experience those moments where, you know, if we hadn't homeschooled, a public school teacher would see those. I want to be there and I want to see that, and I get to experience that with my child. And that's something that you can only do as a homeschool parent. But it's been such a rewarding experience to watch my kids go from frustrated because they couldn't understand something to seeing that light bulb moment where they were like, oh my gosh, I get this, I know how to do this, and then they just take off. I also love that we get to cultivate their interests. So my youngest, he loves animals, so he is in this zoology curriculum with Apologia, and we are on the second volume of it, which is aquatic animals, and he is just taking off with it and just doing all kinds of things on the side when it's not even school time, because he just loves all of the things that he is learning, and he just tells random people facts all the time, and it's just so funny. And my oldest, instead of you know, kind of like the melancholy teenage years, we are getting to see him really dig into things that he's interested in. Like right now he is learning Okinawa Kabuto, and he loves it. So to see him thriving in that environment has been very, very great for all of us, and we have really loved it. And having Dad become involved too, as he has retired from the military, and seeing him get to come into the classroom and do these things with the kids, it's something that we couldn't replicate if they were gone for 8 hours a day. So enjoy this time that you get with them, because remember, moms, it does not last forever. Unfortunately, I wish we could make it last forever, but it doesn't. So I want to tell you guys, just savor every moment of it, even the teenage years. Just savor it and really enjoy seeing your children learn, because as a parent and as a teacher, there were so many things that I saw kids do that their parents didn't get to experience. And although it was great for me as a teacher to experience it, I always, you know, wanted their parents to see this too. And it's something you can't replicate that first time, you know, that you see that. So I am going to quit rambling, and we are going to go ahead and end this video here, but I want to hear your stories, so pop them down below. What's the most surprising thing you've learned about homeschooling that nobody told you? You just learned through experience. I'd love to know. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'm going to see you in the next video.